Well, Lance, tell me how you got involved with gyms.
Well, I was driving trucks for 20 years and I had a back injury from driving trucks, and one day I was talking to my physio and he told me that I was no longer able to drive trucks, and then I remembered about gyms, but I just never had the courage to do it, and I knew I had no choices. I pulled over one day and had a conversation with a gyms franchisee, and he sat there and showed me everything that he was making, and I was surprised that he was so, front forward of how much he was making. And
how much did he tell you he was making?
At that time, he told me he was making $2,500, and to me, I didn't believe it. I thought, no way you can make $2,500. I'm only making $1,400 driving a truck. You're making $2,500 pushing a mower. How is that possible? Yeah. And he showed me his phone. He showed me all of his details, which I was very surprised, and that was it.
How long did you spend talking to him on that conversation?
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Yeah, he dedicated an hour and a half. Yes.
Hour and a half
yes.
to talk to you.
I didn't believe it.
That's Nick?
Yes, Nick, and we've now become great mates, and I speak to Nick 3 or 4 times a day now, because he basically, was a great help to me.
Yeah. And you had a bit of a Barney about the income. You have a bit of a friendly rivalry, don't you?
At the start, because he was so upfront with me about his outgoings, he would tell me this is what he's making a month, and to me, I didn't believe it. I just said, there's no way you can be making that amount of money. And the funny thing is, as of the last 2 months, I've actually passed him by quite a bit, and not that it's a rivalry, but I look at him as my goal, and that's when I joined. I always looked at him and thought, this is what I want to become, this is what I want to achieve, and now to be there, and he encourages me. There's no grudge between us. He actually encourages me, and it's
so amazing. You had a recent conversation, and he was talking about $20,000.
Yes.
In a month. In a month, and you told him what would you? Well,
so he makes 20 a month, and I'm hitting now 26 a month. So and that's slowly growing.
You're the mentor now.
Yeah. So now it's turned a little bit, but he did help me get to that point. So and it's obviously my franchisor has been a great help at the start. So
describe the day you spent with him on the road. You went out when he said, "Go out with me on the road." What happened?
So obviously when I joined the gyms, you go out for a day that's the great thing about
before this. You joined, just investigating.
Before I joined, this is a great thing. Like my franchisor said, go out and see what it is, so you can see if there's any lies about this, because you can go out with anyone, and I picked a guy that wasn't even on the list. So I thought, I'll see, and I went out there, we did the day, and we finished at like 2 o'clock, and we had made, I think it was like nearly $900 for the day. And when he was telling me about how much he'd made, I said, I think it was a Wednesday, and I said, oh, so you've made 900 from now to Wednesday? And he said, no, that's today. And I said, mate,
not at 2 o'clock.
Then I said, come on, you can't be serious. And he said, yeah, this is what we've made for the day. And I remember I got into my car, rang up my wife, and I said, no, I'm doing this. If he's making that, and I couldn't believe it. And it's true.
It's amazing. And how's your financial situation changed since you started doing this?
Yeah, like I said, before I started gyms, it was being a truck driver. I thought it was great money, and it is good money, but it's not to what we make now. And I remember I would rely on, I'd do the whole year, and then I'd get the tax, and with that tax money, they'd be like, great, I can pay for the big, the bills, like say that your gas goes out or something like that. That would always be there. Whereas,
what kind of savings did you have in those days?
So I always had around 3,000 to 5,000. Was my max, because something would go and that would deplete you. And like I said, since I've started in the 18 months, I've been able to save 150,000 now in my savings. So
wow,
yeah,
that's a big turnaround.
Yeah,
and now you're talking to us about a new division.
Yes, about driving school. Yeah. I think, this is the good thing about being part of the gyms group, is that you can be a gyms mowing franchisee, a gyms cleaning franchisee, and you come up with a great idea, then all of a sudden I like I said, I was working, it was raining, I was sitting under the shelter, and my employee was getting a bit worried, and I asked him, what's the worry? And he said, I've got my driving lesson, I've got to finish at this certain time. And I thought, wow, there's no gyms driving school. Why is there no gyms driving school? And that's when I sent you the email saying, hey, why is there no driving school? And you replied back that there's no one that's brought it up. So here we are now.
Yeah, I said we'd love to do it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
And I looked at your record. I said, here's a guy who's fantastic customer service rating, making very good money. That's the person who could tick a few boxes.
Yeah.
So we just had a discussion now, and we're booking you in for the next franchisor training, which is in April.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're excited too, actually. It's something we wanted to do for a long time. It's a real natural division for us, driving school. It just fits perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I really think it's something that gyms needed, and I think it'll be a really great franchise. Like when you look at how much you can make as a franchisee, and it caters to so many different genres, females, males. If you've just been made redundant, great opportunity to take that next step, and it's not a huge outlay, and it's a job. If you've been 40 years as a factory worker, you've been driving a car for 40 years, so you've got 40 years of experience which you can then pass on to the next generation.
Or from our point of view, if you've been a successful mowing franchisee and you're just getting a bit too hard for you,
yes,
here's something you can move into, use your business skills, make a good living.
Definitely. And if you're so used to that mowing income and you can't go to having no decent income, this is a great transition. Definitely.